This is Toon Talk Weekly, episode 187. This week, Brad and I do our very first video show when we watch an episode of the series Tom and Jerry. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday once again. That means it's time for another episode of the weekly cartoon podcast, Toon Talk Weekly. That is, of course, this show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jake Williams, but I'm not the only other voice you're going to hear. And this week, we're even doing a video version. We're going to give this a shot. So the other voice you're about to hear and the picture you might be seeing over on the side there is Brad Chmielewski. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? This is very weird doing video because we also, I don't see you, you see me, so when we used to record in the same room, I had this, we had this reactions back and forth, but now it's just me, I can do whatever I want, and I have to pay attention, to the camera. It's weird.
I know, it's actually a weird thing, it's strange because, I don't know, maybe I'm a little more animated than I actually think that I am, but, I want to look at the preview of you and be like, hey, it's Brad. I can talk to Brad, but I feel like I should probably look at this camera more often. But if you're watching the video version, this is my first time. Go gentle. I'm not going to look at the camera the whole time. I've also got notes to consult, so this is going to be a difficult one, I think.
So this is our first version, or our first official Toon Talk Weekly video version of the show. It's not a different show. It's the same show.
Right. So we decided to, at this point, we should be doing video. Come on, guys. We're talking about cartoons every single week. And I like throwing in the audio clips. I think there's a lot that adds to the show with us having a discussion about a specific cartoon, and then being able to hear some of it. But man, sometimes you just don't get anything out of it, especially if it's just ambience. If there's no dialogue or nothing, it's driving the story, the narrative of that episode forward. It can be tough. So we're gonna give video a shot. We're gonna see how much we like it, how awkward we feel.
And it's 2017. We should be doing video, and we make videos for a living. So yeah. Right. It's kind of silly.
It's really, it shouldn't be that much more work, but I'm the kind of person that convinces myself something is way more work, and then I just don't do it. So here we are on video. Currently, we have no plans to stream it live, only because, obviously, at the top of the show, if you've listened a long time, we intro being Tuesdays. That's the day we push it out, but of course, we can't fit all of this in. We don't record this at 6 a.m. Spoilers, guys, on Tuesdays, so you guys get your 10 a.m. episode. It's not how this happens. So currently,
that would be efficient of us, though, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, the problem is 187 episodes ago, I said, "Hey, it's Tuesday," and now it's ruined us. From here on out, I can't. So that makes it a little difficult. So currently, we're not going to live stream it. We're just going to go ahead and do our normal show here. Then actually, man, I'm going to have to figure out where we put we've been sending you guys over for the last few weeks to tinyurl.com/ToonTalkShow intro, which is where the video show intro is that we animated at our company. I got to figure out where that goes in relation to the intro and like a first clip and like, dude, it's a whole new world. I just can't.
I know. Does it go on the outro too, or is that different? Yeah.
Ooh, oh, I didn't even think about the outro. This is awful. This is going to be a travesty. I'm going to be spending the rest of the day figuring all of this out. But yeah, of course, welcome to Toon Talk Weekly. If this is your first time seeing us, this might be. We've only done one video version before. That was for episode 100, where we talked about it was Star versus the Forces of Evil, but we had also launched a Patreon at that point to try to do more with the show, right? And you can actually check that out at patreon.com/ToonTalkWeekly. It's still up. It's still available. We don't pimp it out that much just because we've been kind of figuring out what to do with the show now that we don't live in the same exact place.
Right, that's true.
And so that was our only video version. That was very different, right? We were sitting right next to each other and we had all kinds of toys.
Yeah, we were in the same room. We had like a set. It was almost, now we're just heads in a box.
Oh, come on, man. Don't sell yourself short. I'm just a head in a box.
I'm just a head in a box, yeah.
We still kind of have a set. You could green screen your cool self, and I got some toys and stuff back here. And then now I'm realizing you don't see me, so it doesn't matter. So, of course, if this is your first time seeing us, this is going to be hopefully a regular thing from now on. But this is a show where Brad and I, who are animators by day, watch a new cartoon. And maybe not brand new, but something different, right? At this point, we've gone through about 187 episodes of the show where we talk about a different cartoon every single week. And we've gone everywhere from back to the 40s, like we're going to do today with Tom and Jerry, as well as some of the newest cartoons that we even know. I know a recent one we did was Mighty Magiswords, was a brand new cartoon that I'd never heard of. So,
oh yeah, that was fun.
Gosh, now I'm forgetting, what was the show we just watched with? This is how bad I am. I can't even remember. Where there was like an alien pizza place. That show was awesome. Whatever it was.
That show was pretty cool. Yeah, Atomic Puppet.
Atomic Puppet. That one's awesome. So, but then we watched stuff like Bobby's World. You know, like it's everything in between where it's good or bad, old or new. We want to cover it. This week's no different. We're talking about Tom and Jerry this week. And man, looking up some of the background of Tom and Jerry was very eye-opening. I didn't really know what to think of Tom and Jerry. I kind of only thought it was a show. Turns out it's a ton of short films is really what it is.
I guess so. They're all like, really, they're listed as short films?
Yeah.
Or they have short films?
So we'll go into a little bit of the disambiguations of it, right? Basically, we have Tom and Jerry, the characters. That's where we start in general. The show that we watched this week, or the episode we watched, was called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse, which was made in 1947. And this was the 30th Tom and Jerry short. Now, later on, like, this is in the 40s. This is crazy. This is old school animation.
And it looks freaking awesome.
Dude, the animation is so great. And there's so many, like, tropes in this episode that have been carried on for generations in cartoons, but because this is like the original slapstick and what happens with it, it's so much more gratifying. Like, I found myself sitting down here in my office laughing hysterically watching this stuff because of just how good and how classic it was. But then later, from different years, there's like different eras of Tom and Jerry, I think, based on who produced the show and then what years they came out, right? So we had spin-offs of the original Tom and Jerry shorts. We had Tom and Jerry Show in 1975, Tom and Jerry Comedy Show in 1980 to 1982. We had Tom and Jerry Kids, 1990 to 1993. Those are super cute.
Yeah, I like that show.
Tom and Jerry Tales was 2006 to 2008. I don't remember that one. And currently, we actually have a new one called The Tom and Jerry Show, again, back to the 1975 one. But this has been produced from 2014 to present, so it's still going on.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. It looks similar, just like a little more updated, but it's not like they didn't like change the formula. I'm sure it's a little more PC than the 1940s one, so a little less like smash them and beat them up kind of things. Maybe a little cleverer. But yeah, that's my thought. I haven't seen it,
and it's a little different, right? Because there was some controversy with some old. I didn't dig too much into it, but with the old ones, but we kind of went through this with Mighty Mouse, where we watched a cartoon from like the 40s that had guns and like people killing each other, and like that would not be okay today. And I think Tom and Jerry suffered from some of that criticism early on too. But Tom and Jerry also had their first feature-length movie released in 1992, and that was called Tom and Jerry the Movie, because what else would you call it, basically? So a little background on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse. This is, as I mentioned, the 30th Tom and Jerry short. It's directed by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, produced by Fred Quimby, so all familiar names. Interestingly enough, I put down the entire credits because it's not a huge list like you would expect from, I think, a bigger cartoon these days. Animated by Ed Barge, Michael Law, Kenneth Muse, Ray Patterson, Pete... Oh, I thought it was Pete Business. That would be an awesome name.
That would be good, yeah.
Pete Burness, and effects animation was done by Al Grandmain, which... Do you think it was like the splashes and like the explosions and stuff? Would that be the effects?
My guess? Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Backgrounds done by Robert Little and the music done by Scott Bradley. I love that they used to call out the backgrounds. Now, I know they probably still say, like, artist and that kind of stuff, but old backgrounds are, like, something to marvel at, man. It's some really great stuff. And this show, of course, being called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse, is a parody of the age-old tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? Something that many people can be familiar with. This short was actually also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Short Subject Cartoons, which I think it's evolved into Best Animated Short. I think they don't call it that anymore. But it actually lost to Tweety Pie from Warner Brothers.
Oh, another show we haven't done yet.
Right. There's a lot of classics we haven't done. And actually, stuff like Looney Tunes, I think, our video show, kind of opens us up to be able to do that kind of stuff. And actually, them losing to Tweety Pie, they had won 4 consecutive times previous to this. I don't know if actually that was Tom and Jerry or Hanna-Barbera. I didn't look that up. I should have probably specified that. But between 1940 and 2014, dude, 164 total shorts of Tom and Jerry. Like, there was... Oh, man, why didn't I write all these stats down? There was something like that Tom and Jerry at the time became, like, the most... either the most watched or, like, the highest grossing cartoon property over Merry Melodies or Looney Tunes, one of those two.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's kind of funny, right? Like... Tom and Jerry to us now as 30-something males, like, it's an old cartoon. But, like, I feel like it was on all the time, and I never didn't watch it. It was just it was great.
Yeah, I watched it a lot. It was just, like you said, it was always on TV. I don't know, it was just on in the background. It was just the background show, kind of. It's weird.
And in a way, I get why it could be, right? There's no dialogue. There's not a huge story to find out. It's literally, every episode is going to be the age-old battle, generally speaking, of cat versus mouse, of these two rivals trying to one-up each other. Or, I mean, Tom can look like a pretty sinister cat. Mm-hmm. So him probably trying to kill Jerry. But, of course, there's episodes where they work together to reach some common ground for other purposes. I don't know what those are. I don't know if they had to fight a dog. They might pair up together, right?
Yeah, there is that dog that shows up, remember? Mm-hmm. Not in this episode, but there is that one dog. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Bow Wow or Ruff or something.
Rover or some classic dog name.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this is just a classic show. Like, I don't know, it feels cliche to call something like that, but when you look back on it, we're watching a short from 1947. We've already commented on the animation. Like, it is spot on. Some of the stuff was just fun to pause and see how they got from here to here, or how can they make Tom feel like... we commented on it actually when we watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, right? Where he can, like, slither and become liquid almost and still look like he has fur, and, like, God, it's just so fun to watch. So let's talk a little bit about the story of what happens here. It probably won't take long. But in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Mouse, we get an awesome title card, which I love. I love cartoons that do that. So I was going to say shout out to Tom and Jerry, but that kind of seems dumb. Like they were some of the first people doing it. Like, way to throw it back, Tom and Jerry. And the title card was something like, wasn't it Jerry sitting there, but then there was like a bowl of milk and like an evil shadow behind him. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And in the episode, we get basically Tom trying to drink this milk. He's basically stolen this milk from the counter. Or actually, it was left back when there were milkmen. It was left on the front steps. And he reaches out and takes the milk. And he's going to have himself a little treat. So this is like Tom's Sunday morning. He's like, gonna have myself some milk.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I need. It's been a tough week. I'm relaxing, enjoying this day. And here comes this freaking mouse.
Again, no way. And Tom basically begins to try to drink this milk, but I think he keeps getting distracted by Jerry, right? He's really not able to enjoy his weekend. That's what that's what Tom's all about. So he's sitting here thinking, look, if this mouse is going to keep trying to drink my milk, and I can't just enjoy it by myself, I'm going to poison it. Like that. Like that. He escalates it real fast.
All right, if Jerry's going to keep drinking it, you know what? I'm going to dump some antifreeze in there. This mouse is gone.
I mean, he turns this thing into basically napalm. Like, just pouring, like hot sauce and antifreeze and just anything.
Mothballs and...
There's probably some paint thinner in there. Like,
yeah.
This is not a good message to send to kids, by the way.
No, this episode not airing now.
Maybe they change it. Do you think they would alter it? So now it's like, put some Mentos in there and like some ketchup. Yeah, that'll be gross. Like,
I don't know. I bet some kids tried mixing a bunch of stuff in their milk. Like, let me pour this. I saw it on Tom and Jerry, and they got real big and strong.
I don't know, kids. And we're probably overstating it, right? It's a cartoon, but who knows? And so we get this concoction, this scene that very much reminiscent of like a Fantasia, right? Mixing this potion almost, but now it's this deadly milk. And he puts it right out for Jerry. He's like, here you go, man. You wanted it. I give up. Yeah. Jerry, of course, skeptical at first, finally gives in, drinks the milk. Prior to this, rather, we actually saw a fly like buzz in, drink the milk, and basically keel over and die. What's interesting is that I think if this was shot, if this was like done today, there would have been an extra shot where the fly gains the powers that we see later when Tom's not looking. You know what I mean? So that the audience knows what's about to happen.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like that's maybe the structure we would have seen. So we get Jerry finally drinking this milk, keels over and kind of looks like he dies, becomes totally stiff. Jerry picks him up, and it's only then that he becomes Muscle Jerry. Like...
And now he's so tough, and he can turn the tables on Tom, which I want to say, like, Jerry, you're already always getting the best of Tom.
Yeah.
You did not need to be super strong. Now you're just a bully. Before you were this mouse that was like, I'm going to outsmart this cat. Now I went to the gym. Guess what? I'm here to kick your butt. Like, what an awful message. Like,
hold on.
Once you get big and strong, you can beat up everyone who was rude to you.
Hold on. You're giving this one to Tom here? Like, Tom's the victim?
I just feel like Jerry overstepped his, like, now I'm real strong. Guess what, cat?
Yeah. Dude.
Tom tried to kill him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no, like, yeah, you're just super strong now. Like, okay, we get it. Jerry's like super smart. He's picking on this dumb cat whose only goal is revenge all the time. But he just tried to poison him and kill him. Like, you can't just say he's a bully. I guess you can. I don't know. What it gives us in this episode is this wonderful scene. And I remember this short just from seeing it. Like, I remember having seen this before. One of my favorite scenes in this entire thing was Jerry, big muscle Jerry, who's been working out, skipping leg day, whatever. Just storming after Tom, right?
Yeah.
He is like not giving up. Tom has to do things where he smashes a phone book over his head, rips right through it, goes inside a door, but Jerry just pushes through the door, and it leaves like a hole, a silhouette of where Tom was. He even uses like a fire poker, right? A metal tool, and tries to like hit it over Jerry, and it just makes these cookie cutter shapes of Jerry instead.
He goes and hides in a wall safe, and Jerry punches through the wall safe and pulls him out through the tiny little fist hole.
Yeah.
Why is there a wall safe? But yeah. There's multiple wall safes in this episode.
Yep. It's a secure house, man. There's some document. Someone at this house works for the IRS because they have to keep their house locked down.
I guess there's a lot going on in the walls of this house because Jerry has this elaborate world inside the walls as well. But
Did you love the shot early on in the episode where there was a wall safe, but then when Tom opened it to hear that Jerry was drinking his milk, even Jerry had a tiny wall safe door?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
It was perfect.
Who are these people that just let a mouse live in their house and have holes all over their wall and in their safes?
Right. And stuff gets destroyed, and the next episode, don't know, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Jerry doesn't break his stride. He's just going straight at Tom. I think at one point here he actually gets the classic cartoon thing of when you grab someone by the tail or like an arm or a limb or whatever, and you just keep whacking them over your head like back and forth, right? Like this is the epitome of what this classic movement is. There was another scene here a shot here where Jerry did the cartoon eyes, like multiple eyes, like pop out of your head and go back. Like it's just, oh my god, it just ate it all up, dude. It was like the ultimate slapstick cartoon stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Jerry, abusing his power, thinks he's won here, and suddenly turns back into regular Jerry. So he has to run back to get more milk and drink it. And I guess you could say this was kind of correct in how it would work, right? Like Jerry drinks more milk, becomes strong again, but then it doesn't work as well, and he becomes small again quickly.
Right, he's got a tolerance for it.
Yeah, right. It's like drinking small amounts of poison. You just get used to it after a while. Then
we get a chase scene where Tom is now like, oh, well, all right, now I'm back to the big guy, so I can chase you. Classic chase around the house, gags, and Jerry locks Tom in the refrigerator, which I've never thought about. If you've been locked in a refrigerator, could you open it from the other side? I guess one of those that had like a handle. Like now they just push open or pull open.
Right, but before they had like these big latches.
Yeah, so you probably couldn't open it if you got stuck inside one.
Huh. I actually have that's interesting.
But then Jerry goes and makes a new poison.
Yeah, so Jerry's like, holy crap, I liked being super strong a second ago. I'm going to go make my own super poison milk, and I'm going to become strong again. So he mixes a concoction, even the similar things of like the spoon disintegrating in it. You believe that he's made it, because how would you know the recipe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think before he can drink it, it gets taken by Tom, and Jerry is like, this is it, here we go. Like, he's actually got the power. But turns out Jerry didn't make it quite right.
Yeah, he made a reverse version.
Which is, I laughed so hard each time Tom got smaller here.
Yeah, so first he gets smaller, and then it kicks him a little more. He gets really small. The tiniest version of Tom is pretty good because the detail of that is fantastic.
There's some just stuff that Tom has done to Jerry before, where he like steps on his tail and he can't run away. Jerry now gets to do. A stupid like animator probably noticing this thing is that I loved that when Jerry, as there's small Tom and there's Jerry, and Tom tries to run away. there's like a slight, when Jerry reaches out his foot to step on his tail, you even get a little bit of a tug. Like he has to try to hold down that tail while Tom's running away. Like it wasn't just like put it down. It was like a slide that, I don't know, I kind of went stupidly crazy for, that I was like, that looks pretty nice. I probably watched this way too intently, right? But
yeah.
If it was the everything show or the just on show before, I shouldn't be like over analyzing it. And yeah,
that's it.
Right? I was gonna say, doesn't Tom get back, or no? Does it just end at him being tiny and running away?
Tiny running away, Jerry chasing him with the fly swatter, and that's it.
Right. Also, do people still have fly swatters in their house?
I don't know. I have cats, so the cat kind of chases the fly down for me.
I remember growing up having a fly swatter above the fridge. And if you saw a fly, you just grab it and do something about it. I think, was there like a fly problem when we were growing up?
I think when you also have kids who are in and out of the house all the time, the door gets opened, especially if you're in the suburbs or out in the country, your door gets open, possibly left open, and flies get in. So especially in like a city, that door better never be open unless I am walking in or out of it.
Well, in a city, you got to worry about, are people coming in here?
Yeah.
People
I got rat swatters. Rats just run in the door.
Oh my God. Yeah. Your cats would take care of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So this was fun to revisit. This was Tom and Jerry, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Mouse. If you guys want to follow along to kind of our discussion or watch the episode and then listen to our discussion on it, it is over on Amazon Instant Video, which... Well, I guess it's on Instant Video, but it's not like part of the subscription. You got to pay. It's like 99 cents an episode or $12 a season or something. But totally worth it. Quality's great. Looks great. So, Brad, how fun or not fun? I don't know. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. What did you think of Tom and Jerry?
It was fun to revisit it. I watched it with the sound off, so it was a little weird, but it's also entertaining enough that like I didn't really need the sound. Like I was like, all right, well, I got to make it through this for the show because it's short. It's only like 7-9 minutes, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So I had no problem making through. But it was nice to revisit, and the animation is just fantastic. Like just that it was done in the late 40s, and it's that fluid and that much care put into it. Like, and then like later Hanna-Barbera came along and kind of messed it all up.
Well, it's funny, too, because I feel like when we talk about Hanna-Barbera, I think a lot of the stuff from, like, the 60s and 70s is what comes up. And then my brain immediately goes to all the Filmation stuff that we've watched, like Gilligan and stuff that was, like, not great, that I almost forget that, like, hey, Hanna-Barbera was, like, also making super sweet cartoons at the time.
But, yeah.
You know? So, yeah, definitely a fun one to rewatch, man. I think as animation nerds now, like, going back and sort of seeing how great it looks when we think about what we make every day, to see what was put out into the ether, and probably the effort that goes into a 7-minute short like this is like nothing short of amazing. Like, and it's one of those things where I immediately wanted to just start watching a bunch. I wanted to just have it on because just the sound effects of it, like you can kind of like, there's a what do you want to call it? Like a wavelength almost of like the music in the show, or like the sound, or how things build to a crescendo before some action happens. Even some of the gags, the animation was so good it made me like cringe when there was a scene or shot where Jerry puts Tom's tail in a waffle iron.
Yeah.
And it made me cringe because it looks so good, and then his tail comes out and it's hilarious. It's a waffle, right? Like, I don't know. So definitely a fun one to revisit. And I'm glad that we were able to finally do Tom and Jerry. It's one we've brought up here and there over the last 3 years. But now that it's video, we can actually throw in these clips for you guys to kind of see what's going on. And, of course, credit those guys for making this awesome show.
Hopefully it's video and we didn't have any issues. And if you're listening to the audio, you should go check out the video version too now.
Yeah, I guess. So when I do short links, which are usually easier for you guys to share, easier for us to share, but if other people want to share them too, that's fine. We'll just throw the video version in there too, right?
Yeah,
so,
in the post, in line with on Tumblr, on the blog.
Man, our post is going to be like image, video, link, actual file, subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. Well, cool. Let's get out of here. This was fun talking about Tom and Jerry. Brad, where can people find you when you're not recording this video version of Toon Talk Weekly?
So you can follow me on Twitter. It's @brad, or my blog is digitalhitchhiker.com.
Great. Guys, go check Brad out. You can follow me on Twitter @JacobWilliams. And, of course, if you want more of the show, more of Toon Talk Weekly, we're on Twitter @Toon Talk Weekly, Facebook.com/Toon Talk Weekly. If you're one of the dozen people on Google+, we are too. I mean, that's all there is to it. We're at Toon Talk Weekly over there as well. The email, if you want to let us know what you think of the show, maybe some other Tom and Jerry shorts that might be your favorites that you want us to check out. toontalkweekly@gmail.com is the place to do that. And finally, the main hub for the show, toontalkweekly.com. It's got all of our episodes up to this point, and now it will start containing video shows. So
Yep.
Should be a fun one. So this has been a great experience. It's definitely been a learning thing. I guess I don't even stream very often. You streamed video games for a while, Brad, so you got used to kind of like looking at the camera. I feel like I'm just talking to a little circle. It's just kind of weird. And I'm
You'll get used to it.
I'm like also standing at my desk, and my monitor is kind of high. So I'm like looking up at, I don't know, it's super strange.
Oh, hey, over there, yeah.
Oh, I'm here, yeah. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Next week, we're going to watch a show called Cops, but you actually might know it as Cyber Cops, and I'll explain why when we get to the next episode. But we'll do an episode of the cartoon called Cops.
Oh, not just who you going to call? Cops?
That's Ghostbusters, dude. You're thinking Bad Boys, what you want to do. We already did Ghostbusters. Get over it. All right, this was a fun episode of Toon Talk Weekly. We'll catch you guys next week with another cartoon.
Take care.
To learn more about the show, visit toontalkweekly.com or follow us on Twitter @ToonTalkWeekly.